Hello everyone and welcome back to one of my reviews. So today in this watch review, I'll be reviewing the new Nebula diver from Hong Kong watch micro brand Phoibos. Now, the Nebula is Phoibos latest dive watch, but it's most dressy one to date. It has very slim proportions, a jubilee bracelet and no diving bezel. So this is markedly different from the brand's previous diving watches, most of which are bulky and quite serious. So let's see if this is any good. Now, like its predecessors, I would say the Nebula has quite good specifications for its price. First of all, Nebula uses like a flat sapphire crystal. So as aforementioned numerous times in my previous reviews, I always look for sapphire crystal, due to their scratch resisting properties. It also has 3 layers of AR coating, so you don't see, even if I tilt it, you don't really see much nasty reflections on the Nebula. And despite it being, the dressiest Phoibos thus far, it still has a water resistance rating of 150 meters, made possible due to this screw down crown. So this should survive a trip to the pool or even to the sea, I think, with no issues. Now, in sticking inside, you guys can see the smooth sweep of the second hand. Sticking inside is the Milta 9015 movement, which in my opinion is one of the best bang for buck movements out there. A more affordable alternative to the ETA 2824, it beats at the same 4Hz frequency, you translate to this very smooth second hand sweep. So it has 42 hours of power reserve, 24 joules and hacking seconds. Now, on to the bracelet. The bracelet is actually quite interesting, comes on this sort of Jubilee style bracelet, which is an intriguing, sort of choice for a dive watch. But one that makes sense, given that this is supposed to be like a dress diver. You can see that it's executed really well. The polishing is very nice. It's very comfortable on the wrist, and the clasps, let me just show you guys the clasps. There you go. The clasp is really very easy to operate. You can hear a very satisfying click. So it's push button as well, so you should have no issues in operating these 4 over clasps. You can see as well that micro adjustment, there are slots for micro adjustment as well, so no issues in getting like a secure fit. Now I'll just pop out a loom shot here. Loom has always been a strong suit of Phoibos watches, and this does not disappoint. The hands and the sandwich markers features 15 layers of superlunova or radium, while BGW9 are applied on the dot indices. I was surprised to find even a date window loom, which means I can tell the date even in the dark, a detail that more watches should adopt. Now all in all, I would say that the Nebula definitely punches above its price point. There's sapphire crystal, AR coating, a Milta 9015 movement, a well-machined Jubilee bracelet, and 15 layers of 2 kinds of superlunova. Despite it being a desk diver, it has 150 meters of water resistance rating, so it ticks every box, and it does so at a sub 500 Sing dollars price point, or about 350 USD. Now, although it's somewhat of a spec monster, it's no slouch in the design department either. So as you guys can see, green dials, as you guys all know, are the rage in 2021, and it's easy to see why. Now, although the Nebula does come in, I think, blue as well as a very intriguing brown, I find the green dial here to be more, eminently striking than its counterparts. It's in quite an interesting, teal. Let me bring this closer to the camera. It's in quite an interesting sort of teal shade, not like the gaudy, vibrant ones that one often sees. There's also like this very nice fume or gradient effect where the dial darkens to its corner that is, I think, quite captivating. Very nice, I think, dial. And if you guys can see, there's a slight, let me try to show you guys, there's a metallic effect as well to the dial. There's this sort of shimmer, when it comes to interacting with the light. So the metallic effect sort of adds intrigue to the dial, and it's texture that I personally have not seen on micro brand watches before. Under a macro lens, you can see, let's see if we bring it even closer to the camera, then the details are all spot on, rendered well. There's no misalignment between the indices and the applied loom dots. It's very executed even upon close inspection rather well. There's also plenty of depth here, as you can see, due to the sandwich nature of the dial. The indices are sunken in, therefore there's this depth that's present. I also like the way they frame, the date window. You can see it's sort of layered. So, it's I think it's a pretty nice and incorporated date window that at 6 o'clock also preserves the symmetry of the dial. Now, elsewhere, the faux patina is definitely a contentious topic, either you like it or you don't. But regardless of, which cam you're in, I have to say that the faux patina is done rather well here. You can see that the indices are gold to match the faux patina, as are the Phoibos logo, and even the text at 6 and hands are all rendered in gold. Even the minute track is rendered in gold. So I can tell that Phoibos has paid attention to detail here, and it shows because the dial comes across as very coherent. And if you're not a fan of this sort of vintage looking faux patina, there is a regular green version with white indices and white hands available as well. Now with a Jubilee bracelet, a smooth bezel, as well as no crown guards and a clear rehaut. The Nebula actually reminds me a lot of the Rolex Datejust. That is not a bad comparison, considering that the Nebula is meant to be Phoibos' most dressy timepiece to date. In that regard, I think it has certainly succeeded, although it's still some way off from passing as a dress watch. Now let me just show you guys the back. So at the back, it's pretty simple. It's just a simple closed case back adorned with like a relief motif of Phoibos' iconic octopus logo. While it's a simple case back, I appreciate you can see the contrast between the polished relief as well as sort of the matte or big blasted case back. So yeah, I appreciated the contrast in finishing even on the case back. Now on my 7-inch wrist, the Nebula wears fantastically. The dimensions of the Nebula are notable, like I said, because it is the slimmest and I think most packed back Phoibos dive watch so far. It has a 40mm of case size, case dimension, which is right in my sweet spot. 3940 is my preferred size, and it's 11mm thickness. As you guys can see, it's 11mm thickness, a feat that's made possible, of course, due to the slim Miyota 9015 movement inside. It will slide underneath a dress shirt cuff easily. I'm really a fan of these smaller dimensions. If the popularity of the watches like Tudor Black B58 is any indication, slimmer dive watches like these are here to stay. So you can see the Jubilee bracelet, very nice, very captivating green dial as well. Now in conclusion, I really do like the Phoibos Nebula. It might be my favorite Phoibos watch so far. Long-time readers will know that my personal taste veer more towards the dressier watches, especially if you've seen my watch collection video. You know that my personal taste is more towards the dress side of things. So this really is very appropriate on my wrist, I would say. It has great specification for the price, sapphire crystal with triple AR coating, a Miyota 9015 movement, a very solid and very comfortable Jubilee bracelet and strong superluminova, and a striking design that I would say is full of color, depth and texture. It's incredibly versatile as well, I think equally at home when you pair it with like a dress shirt or if you take it to a pool. I think Phoibos has a winner on its hands. I won't be surprised if the Nebula sells out quickly. Now, those interested in owning one can use the promo code WASOSHIOK to enjoy 10% off all products from Phoibos web store. After the promo code, the Phoibos Nebula will cost just $351 USD, or about 470 SGD, which I think is a great price for a well-built, attractive everyday watch. Alright, so that sums up my review for today. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, do subscribe, and do share it around. As always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao!